Hello and welcome to the Animation Triad. To the Animation Triad. Welcome.
Hello and welcome to Animation Triad, your guide to the many worlds of animation. I, of course, am your humble host, Stu, and with me, as usual, is...
Teddy.
And joining us today, for the first time, is my lovely and awesome wife, Cynthia!
So today we wrap up the month of February with a love story that is old as time.
The age-old story of boy meets girl. Girl turns out to be a psychotic stalker, obsessed with getting said boy to love her, and killing all that get in her way.
You know, that old chestnut.
We are, of course, talking about Future Diary.
All women are crazy, all men are dumb, 'cause though we know they're crazy, we still want some.
Now we here at Animation Triad have some simple questions for you. Do you like anime? Do you like cartoons? Do you like animated stuff in general? If so, then we are the channel for you. That's right. Click like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get all the animated reviews you could want. Now, before we jump into the review, we are, as usual, going to discuss the three main talking points that we will be going over for this series. And they are...
The psychology of the characters.
Love and its interpretation in the series.
And lastly, the question of free will in this series' universe. So, strap in, initiates, and welcome to the Triad. Future Diaries is an anime series based off of a manga by the same name, written by Sake Esino.
The anime series ran from October 10th, 2011 until April 16, 2012, lasting 26 episodes in one OVA series.
The manga, on the other hand, ran from January 26, 2006 to December 25th, 2010, consisting of 12 volumes plus 2 side story manga, Future Diary Mosaic and Future Diary Paradox.
The series was also adapted into an 11-episode live-action drama, which aired between April 21st and June 30th, 2012. This had an original plot and very differently, was very different than the anime and the manga.
So now that we're all up to speed, let's summarize the series.
Now, before we begin our synopsis, I would like to state that we are going to do our best to avoid spoilers. And this keeps falling.
Yes. I saw that coming.
Aha!
Aha!
You see? You see? So, as I was saying, we're going to try and avoid spoilers as much as possible, but I can guarantee you that we will not be discussing the ending of this series at all.
No.
As such, our synopsis will be much shorter than normal.
But on the plus side, we get to discuss our main topics more.
Woohoo!
Woo!
With that being said, let's summarize. Yuki Amino is a 14-year-old, shy, daydreaming loner who basically has no friends and, well, that are real, or so he thinks. You see, his only friends happen to be Deus Ex Machina, the god of space and time, and his assistant, Murmur. One day, Deus Ex decides that he's going to start some fun. And by fun, we mean a battle royale tournament. He turns Yuki's phone into a future diary, capable of predicting the future of things that he observed, or observes, I should say, up to 90 days in the future. Now, there are 11 other combatants in this that all have future diaries of their own. They operate in slightly different manners, and we won't spoil all those because they're quite interesting. And, well, whoever wins, or whoever is the last one standing at the end of this battle royale, will become the ruler of space and time, literally a god themselves. Indeed, this is important stuff here. And, to further complicate things, Yuki is, well, would you say protected by Yuno Gasai, a charming but psychotic classmate who is obsessed with him and will do anything in her power to, well, finger quotes again, protect him. So,
So now we will move on to our main talking points.
Now, I did love the pink-haired girl.
Yuno.
No, I don't. That's what I'm asking.
It's Yuno.
Oh, right.
Thank you, Abbott. Yeah, oh, I gotta pay for that one now. Yeah, you can't go wrong with a classic gag.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Tangent jar.
Mm-hmm.
Was that be considered a pun?
That actually, it is a tangent and a pun.
Curses!
Yes, we have our first
But I
pun
got away with it.
already.
You gotta pull it for me.
Oh, 1 second. We gotta spin it first. Ready? When there's a pun gun. Ready?
At the face!
Oh! We made contact!
Porque!
1 second. For all your punning needs. And now we reset and get it ready for next.
For everyday life, just eating bars and just shooting with a Nerf gun.
I think we should. Do you want more Nerf guns like this? Do you want the pun gun? Tell us how we should utilize this more in your everyday life. How would you use the pun gun? Post your comments below. Alright. So yeah, you know.
So anyway, after my comedic genius there,
Debatable.
Yuno in this anime world is the queen of Yandere. Yandere. Am I saying that?
Yandere.
Yes, that one.
What is a yandere? Well, we could explain it ourselves, or we could literally show you the textbook definition. Now! Oh, greetings and salutations. My name is Stu, and it is my pleasure, nay, my honor, to explicate prodigious and arduous words to you, our stalwart initiates. Today, I shall be elucidating for you the term yandere. Now, let's see what the dictionary has to say on yandere. Yandere is a Japanese term for a person who is initially very loving and gentle to someone before their devotion becomes destructive in nature, often through violence and/or brutality. The term is derived from the words yanderu, meaning mental or emotional illness, and diridiri, meaning to show affection. Yandere characters are mentally unstable and sometimes incredibly dangerous, and not mentally sane, often using extreme violence or brutality as an outlet for their emotions. There is also male characters who display such tendencies as well, and mostly it's female, it seems. A yandere will devote their life to the object of their affections by either following their every move and keeping their social interactions with others to a minimum. Or you could just take a look at this picture. The prime example of a yandere. And there you go. And thank you for joining me for this episode of Big Words with Stu.
Yes, a very interesting character. I mean, she wasn't always like this.
No.
She was born into a family of they wanted her to be perfect.
Yes.
And their punishments for diverging from that path were a bit excessive.
let's just say this: Mommy Dearest ain't got nothing on this family.
No.
And I'll pay for that one as well.
Oh no.
Yes.
No wire hangers.
Oh, that's the least of her problems.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I think she would have preferred a wire hanger.
Yeah.
I feel like bad for her.
Yeah.
My poor dear.
We're not going to say too much more about that because learning about Yuno and her backstory
Yes.
is a big chunk of what makes this series so interesting.
It is. And of course we have the main character, Yuki Amano.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think he looks like Shinji Ikira? Am I saying
Shinji
that right?
Ikari from Neo Genesis.
Ikari.
Yeah, Shinji Ikari from Neo Genesis Evangelion. A lot of people have made comparisons between the two characters, mainly because they are one of those characters that don't have much of a backbone.
Yeah.
Confession. Never seen Evangelion.
You've never seen Neo Genesis Evangelion.
I'm ashamed.
It's okay. We will not revoke your anime card yet.
No.
Yet, because we have it with us. We'll watch it later. It's okay.
I would recommend not marathoning it.
Yeah,
Because it is quite confusing and you may get a nosebleed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've marathoned some interesting.
Oh.
She marathons fucked up shit all the time.
Alright, fair enough.
Yes. So, in all honesty, I will say this about Yuki. He actually does develop over the course of the series.
Does.
Quite interestingly. Though we can't talk too much about it because of spoilers,
Right.
but it is interesting to see how his story arc goes, his
Right.
character arc goes.
Yes.
And I guess the same could be said for Yuno as well.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
they both grow in very different ways, and there are just so many twists and turns in this series, and the psychology in it is just fascinating to watch, and I'm just going to set that down now.
Yeah.
Yes, it's done.
That's what I miss about the phones.
Aw.
Those phones, they're
Yeah.
the durability.
There we go.
Yay.
Maybe try it a different position.
But I did like how
That's why I married you.
This is what like this is why you need like
Relationship
here.
goals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Because if I ever leave her, they'll never find my body.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true.
Contingency plans. She has many. So yes, about the anything else you wanted to add about Yuno or Yuki?
Well, Yuki, I really liked because, well, I mean, I do like the characters that aren't like, they're not badasses from the start.
Mhm.
You know, he's not some crazy like, oh, I have this super destroy everything maneuver, like many animes I've seen.
So basically, the overpowered OP characters.
Yeah, he's certainly not OP.
Does it have an overdrive like move?
Yeah, like super diary mega.
Kamikaze Fist of the North Star. Punch your lights out.
Fuck up your Facetron.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I kind of like that aspect. It was basically what I loved about this anime is like the characters, you understood where they were coming from, which is amazing because most times again it's those really ridiculous overpowered characters. But Yuki was just he was alone because I think in one part, not to spoil too much, he admits to he had that kind of loner. And most people think, oh, people are loners because they're cool or whatever. They're too cool for everyone else. But he was like, no, he didn't know how to talk to people. He didn't know how to relate to people. And he breaks down in a very touching scene and admits that. It's just like, listen, I know I'm weak. I know I'm a bit of a coward. And he feels bad about it, And I think that's like, it was nice to see that humanity.
It was good to see the character growth.
Yeah, exactly.
Because up until that point, he hadn't really changed too much.
No.
Because if he hadn't, I would have been like, all right.
It would have been.
He never went full badass.
Yeah.
No.
But he was a very compelling character. So yeah.
I did like when he got the phone
because
because he went from Yuki Amano to Yuki Amano the future.
that's another pun.
Darn it.
Ready? Ooh, you are lucky.
You had me do it.
Oh, I know, but we gotta spread the fun out.
Yes.
Alright. So yeah, another point that we must talk about in terms of psychology is, out of all of the characters of the 12, that ties into the number of manga as well, which I thought was kind of clever. 12 issues, 12 diary holders, 12 months of the year, and well, we'll get more into what the number 12 represents later. But, well, 12 hours on a clock
Right.
and whatnot. It's a very interesting
God
number.
of time.
Yeah, God of time, space and time.
12 slices of pizza.
Well, you know, 12.
12.
So, what we have to talk about is the fact that out of all the characters of the diary holders, Yuki is basically one of the only non-psychotic.
Yeah, he's kind of he's the normal dude. Out of 11 crazies.
Well,
The one
Normal-ish.
lady that was... Okay, well, she didn't look normal, okay?
Yeah.
She
I don't
didn't
know
look
what was with her
normal.
character design, but
Like, her character
Yeah.
design was really weird, but in all honesty, she was very... I'm talking about one of the...
number
diary-
12.
Number 12?
Yeah, I think she was
number
12. She was the
She was very
orphanage.
caring and
Oh,
nice
yes.
and everything. I
Mhm.
don't think she was psychotic, like
Basically.
crazy. But
Yeah, she was the only real... She was the nicest one out of all of them,
she
really.
wanted, she wanted to protect children. I was
True.
like, oh
Yeah.
God, it just,
She was,
she just didn't look normal.
She looked like a Chiba character, kind of made their way into the show somehow.
Yeah. Ugh,
So,
yeah.
but no, she was a very lovely character.
hmm
She probably would have made a very good god.
I think so.
Yes.
And, well...
Everyone else, yes, for sure. For sure we're
Oh,
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Oh, they are,
Lot of issues.
yeah, lots of issues throughout this entire series. But in a way, I could also say that Yuki also suffers from, in some ways, a sense of Stockholm Syndrome to some degree, maybe?
Yeah.
You could definitely say that.
Right.
At some points, it comes across that way. Or that he's being a tad manipulative.
Yeah.
But unintentionally manipulative?
Definitely unintentional. I was like, maybe, like, I thought maybe Yuno's more so the one that was the manipulative
Yes.
one, to
Right.
be honest.
It
And
was
Yuki was kind of like gave in,
Mhm.
like,
Right.
to it because he's put in a situation like very human
I
where
think
he's scared and
It was
everything.
very because he knew he could. I hate to say it this way, but he could use her as a force for good.
Mhm.
That's
you know,
actually a very good way of putting it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, he even has.
Yeah.
Well, here's his line about it.
She may not be stable, but she's better than nothing. You know, I need you to get me through this.
Hey, for you, sweetheart, anything.
I'm not using her. I'm utilizing.
Yeah, that's how he feels about the situation in
Yeah.
a way. But that feeling he has changes over time,
Yeah.
and actually is a driving point of the series. I think
Right.
a very big point of it.
And plus, she's a looker, so.
Oh yeah, you know, hey, crazy in the head equals crazy in the bed, as they say. As he finds out.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So, with that, let's move on to love and its interpretations in this series, shall we? Yes.
Oh.
Okay. One second.
Alright. My bad.
No, that's right. We'll
Yeah, you did skip that.
we'll go over her. So we'll go back 1 second. So
Okay.
so there is another character we should mention. She is one of the most reoccurring characters in the series.
Yeah.
Manini, we're going to put her full name down here because we can't pronounce it properly. I think it's Minana? Minani?
Minane?
Minane? We'll go with
Minane?
Minane. If we're saying it wrong, we apologize.
Sorry.
But as we've established, I am the butcherer of names and words. Dictionaries fear me. Yes. So, she is a terrorist. Straight up, she blows up a school in her
Yeah.
introduction.
Basically.
And she has an interesting relationship with the main characters of Yuki
Yeah.
and Yuno.
Very interesting.
Yeah, she kind of goes out of her way to save them a few times. And she is a rather complex character.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, her character design and some of her backstory is actually based and inspired on, even her look in some degrees, is based on Revy from Black Lagoon.
Oh.
Yeah, another very violent, action-packed series.
That's good too.
Yeah, that is a good series. Check it out. Another comparison that's been made, and this is another Neo Genesis comparison, is the fact that, in a way, she is kind of the same. She has the same role that Masato has in Neo Genesis with Shinji, in a way, where Masato is constantly trying to get Shinji to man up and get in the damn robot. Minani, or however you say it. Minane, thank you. I'm just going to point to you and you say it. How about you apparently can say it. I can't. So
Minane.
she is constantly saying, shut up and just kill them already. Pretty much. And just survive. Just stop. Grow a backbone.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I actually grew to really like her character. It went pretty well. And it was cool. I liked her. She was a very cool character. But yeah, Minane. I said it right! Yes! Yes! Okay, so, what did you have any thoughts on her?
I loved her. I thought she was fantastic. At first, I was like, I don't know if I like her, but the more you got to know her,
Right.
I thought she was pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really grows on you.
She was very caring and considerate. I mean, when she wasn't exploding innocent people.
Yeah. I mean, her introduction is her blowing up a shit ton of kids, so...
you can't just ignore that part there.
Yeah,
She
it's
took 3/4 of her school, so...
Yeah. I mean, you can only hope she took out the delinquents.
I think she took out more than that. I'm sure she took out the whole student body council and everything.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, this kid's got an early summer.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what?
Positive.
She actually had some really good character growth,
Yeah.
which we can't touch on too much because
Right.
spoilers, which we're not doing, because watch this series.
Right. Or
Seriously.
check your future diary.
Indeed, that too.
Okay.
So. Alright, well, you got the phone for it.
Oh,
And
there you
yes, all of them have flip phones of sorts.
Right.
I think maybe one or two of them have like semi-smartphones in a
You
way.
gotta tell the younger
But-
kids
oh,
what flip
yes.
phones are. They're gonna be so confused.
Gather round, children, and we will tell you the story of the flip phone.
Yes.
Yes, you see, before modern times, there was this little device you could flip open and make phone calls, and in some cases, text.
Yes.
And that's all.
Right.
And legend has it that the battery would last for up to a week or two
Yeah.
without being charged.
And it had a Pac-Man simulation.
Yes!
There you go.
Or if you wanted to impersonate a duck. Quack, quack.
Very
We're done.
digital duck.
Yes.
Uh,
So yes, those are the type of phones we're dealing with mostly.
right.
But not all of them are phones, actually. Some were scrolls and some were little picture books. So it was interesting to figure out what they were.
One was a recording device.
Yes, because, well, we won't talk more about
No.
that, but yeah. So yeah.
Did you guys have a favorite diary user?
Oh, that's a tough one. I like the three main characters, Yuki,
Now we lost it.
Minane.
and Yuno were three of my favorites.
Oh, I know it's not very interesting, but it's my favorite was the main character Yuki.
No, that's fine.
Just because he was the most human out of all of them. Although
Yeah.
they were cool and they're all in their own right. And like I said, that's what I loved about the series.
Mhm.
You can see how these characters got to where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most of them.
Definitely. Well, with that, I think we should move on to the topic of love and how it's interpreted in this series.
I just wanted to say I
Oh, go
actually
on.
kind of like the one with the scroll.
Oh, yeah, the cult leader. Okay.
I kind of liked hers, that she can see what all her people are seeing too, so that she's out constantly surrounded by them, so might as well keep record of that.
She made me think of Toph from Avatar. A little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
A psychotic Toph. Huh.
Yes.
Ugh, that'd be scary. That'd be terrifying. Okay, moving on now. So now we're going to move on to the subject of love as it's interpreted in future diaries. Mostly we see Yuno, Gisai's love for Yuki. Her diary is the diary of future love. Because she would type in her diary about him every 10 minutes. So, when her phone became a future diary, it gave him her updates on Yuki every 10 minutes. She knows exactly what he is doing, or going to do, I should say. Which freaks Yuki the hell out. You know.
I think as it would for most.
Yeah.
Most
I mean,
folks.
she is introduced as the most popular girl in the school. Everyone loves her. They want to be with her. Boys want to be with her. Girls want to be her or be with her, depending on their preference.
Right.
You know. So.
I want to be with her.
Who wouldn't? Well.
Well,
Oh yeah.
until the knives came out.
Yeah. Then the knives come out, and down come the knives. The Japanese jumping spiders.
Yes, nearby.
Yes. So, Yuki is, when he finds out about this, is freaked out.
Yeah.
Because she is, you know, she is willing to kill for him. Or just do anything she can do to protect her man.
I think Teddy's a little too close to you, sweetie.
Like that, yeah. Except she'd also have a knife behind her back.
Right.
And like 3 backup plans on how to sit down. You're not getting the knives today.
No.
Alright, so yes, Yuki's love, as we discussed with Yandere when we mentioned that, is obsessive. And quite honestly, as you grow and as the story goes on and the characters grow more, and you learn about the reasoning behind her obsession, it is both touching and fucked up at the same time. It is really it's a really complicated relationship, to say the least. But I did enjoy it. It was very interesting. And
That's great.
it was
Fantastic. I absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
No, very good series. Like I said, I'm not the anime guy,
Mm-hmm.
as I've stated previously,
Mhm.
but I really love this one. Valentine.
Yeah, there you go. A little late, but you know.
Relevance!
Yeah, we had to postpone this from Valentine's Day. We hope you guys enjoyed the
Right.
AMV we posted. We will be doing more like that, so post your comments below about what you thought of that. But in that regards, there is a quote I want to bring up. It's not from Future Diaries, but I think it is a very interesting one, which touches on love in an obsessive way. And it comes from Crimson Peak by Guillermo del Toro. The character Lucille Sharp. But the horror, this horror that was for love, the things we do for love, like this, are ugly, mad, full of sweat and regret. This love burns you and maims you and twists you inside out. It is a monstrous love, and it makes monsters of us all. And I think that actually is a good way of describing quite a few of the characters in here.
Yeah.
Especially Yuno and Yuki at some points.
Mhm.
It's warped.
Right.
And just how these characters develop and how the emotions are pulled into it, and it's messed up but good.
Right.
Another relationship we should talk about, because it is a very big factor into it, is Yuki's relationship with his parents.
Mm.
His parents are divorced. His mother is basically working constantly, so he's
Right.
always alone by himself.
Yeah.
His father is...
Video game.
She is a video game
Oh,
designer,
that was
and
cool.
she rocks. Because when she finds out about Yuno, who she doesn't know is Psycho,
She's like, get it in.
she actually has this line.
There's like 5 other rooms she could be crashing in besides mine.
Cut out the Puritan act. All I ask is that you try to keep it down. Night night. Have fun storming the castle.
I don't know if they were going for a... I know what the joke was they're going for, but I'm hoping that was also meant to be a Princess Bride joke. Because that was awesome!
Yeah.
I love that! Awesome mom, by the way.
Yes.
Love her character.
I was a little disappointed in Yuki after that, but...
Yes, I think we all were.
Right.
Yes, especially Yuno was disappointed in that one.
Yeah. And they didn't do anything yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, his dad is a deadbeat, basically. He's in debt up to his eyeballs,
Yeah.
and he's just... I did not like the father character at all.
No, he probably could have used a future diary himself.
He could have used a good smack upside the head a few times,
Yeah,
among
like
other
anime,
things.
so,
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes the dad isn't always the best.
Yeah, unfortunately. But with that, you see a lot of the reasons why Yuki is the way he is. He doesn't socialize with people because he's afraid of rejection because of how his parents' relationship ended.
Yeah.
And he cuts himself off from everyone so he won't get hurt. I think that's how it is.
I
That's
think
my
so,
interpretation
yeah.
of it.
It's a decent theory.
Yes.
I would put it.
What are your thoughts below? Post them below. We want to know your thoughts on this. Now, is there anything else we want to talk about in terms of love and its interpretation?
I don't know if you want to mention
Just a quick note.
the couple. Or
No one has to kill for me. Like a steak dinner would be fine.
Fair enough.
I'm simple, but teach their own.
Yes. So, there... Oh, you did bring up the couple.
I wasn't sure if that would be like a spoiler. About
We're not going to talk too much about them, but we
No.
will briefly touch on these characters.
Yes, they're...
They are actually on the cover of, I believe, no, not this one. This one.
Yes.
Yes. You see this couple right here, and we're going to show you a picture of them so it's blown up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not min and a.
Yeah, not Minute. So, yeah. And this is what I have to put up with, folks, every day. So yes, this couple, they are unique because they are the only future diary holders that are linked to, counted as one diary.
Oh.
They're not, because technically with them there would be 13, but they're only counted as a single individual because
Right.
they are a couple. And they are a counterpoint to Yuno and Yuki. And seeing them interact for the few episodes they have together is very interesting. And it forces Yuno and Yuki to grow and develop a lot more. And I actually thought it was really refreshing to see that, because they were the agents of change for that.
Right.
And they do make a big...
Hashtag relationship goals.
Hashtag, what the heck is with that hair? It looks like a unicorn.
It is.
I mean, it's just... That was the one thing I'm just like,
Yeah.
how much hair gel are you using for that cone that you have?
It's like somebody gave him a swirly and it just stuck.
Permanently, yeah. It's like that with a mullet in the back.
Right.
So it's a weird, like, unimullet?
Yeah, it's like
Unimullet.
party in the back and
Unicorn up front?
Who the fuck knows?
Magical unicorn
Yes,
king up front, I
right.
guess. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, with that, I think we've touched on all the topics of love and touchy-feely stuff that we want to for this. And now I think we should move on to the final question, which is free will. Does it technically exist in this universe for Future Diary? So in this universe, you know what? Let's let Deus Ex explain it because he's God.
The future is subject to change in response to a user's actions. Consider, for example, gleaning foreknowledge of some imminent personal catastrophe that is to befall you down the road. When the appointed hour of said catastrophe arrives, the foreknowledge allows you to take steps to avoid it, thus curtailing one future and inaugurating another. In other words, the timeline of which the catastrophe is part has been left. A new future begins. Your diary alters to reflect the change.
So there you go.
Yeah.
If you know it's coming and you avoid it, you've changed future. But that means that everyone else in the world who isn't a diary user is therefore stuck on that single path. It only changes if somebody who knows about it changes.
Right.
So therefore, the question of free will is called into question, basically, big time. And later on, there is a moment where some stuff goes down and there's more diary users. I'm not going to go too much into that, but there's a lot
Right.
more diary users all of a sudden. And the branches of causality start well, changing and everything because
Right.
everyone knows what's coming.
Right.
So,
They tried to download the Pokemon Go app.
oh,
And it went really wrong.
yeah, horribly. It just was.
No.
You thought getting hit by a car while walking
Right.
around was bad? Wait till you see this. Ooh.
It's like, is that a Pikachu? I'm gonna die. We're kidding, folks. That's not what happens.
I wish.
Yeah, I know. That's a different anime.
So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think that the other characters in this universe actually have free will? Or are the diary users the only ones that truly have it? What's your take on it?
Well, you know what? I think everyone does.
Okay, so you're in the camp that everyone has free will.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think you were meant to say that.
I think free will is subjective in this series because it depends on, well, we could delve a bit more into it based on one character, but that's a major spoiler, which we will not be
Right.
talking about.
Yeah, I kind of want to.
We want to, we really do, but we spoil his whole character arc and everything, so we can't talk about that. What we can say is, watch this series and tell us what you think. If you've seen it, please post your thoughts below. Do the characters outside of the main characters, the diary users I should say, have free will? Tell us. We'll have a debate, a conversation if you will. And now,
Who's your favorite crazy anime girl?
that's right, is Yuki truly, not Yuki,
You know.
is
Yuno.
Yuno truly the queen of all Yanderes? Voice your opinion.
Only you know. Damn it.
Yeah, you're getting it again. Oh, twice in a show! Alright.
Oh.
And before we leave, of course, what would Animation Triad be without some trivia? Well then, let's get started. First off, all the diary holders, all 12 of them, we mentioned that 12 was an important number. And that's because they are all named after the Roman gods. That's right. So, Yuki takes his name inspired by Jupiter.
Juno's Juno.
Yuno is Juno, the wife of Jupiter.
Oh.
But there's more to it than that, because the kanji, I believe that's the right term I'm using, for Yuno's name means, the characters, as we said, in her last name, basically translates to I, wife. Little on the nose.
Like, I like love and wife? Or
No, just
Oh,
I basically am your wife,
Oh.
basically.
Oh,
I think that's,
okay.
I mean, it's a translation issue maybe,
Oh.
but yeah.
I like love and wife.
Love and wife is nice, but I think it, I'm not sure on kanji, but yeah.
I wife.
Yeah.
You love. You know
Yes.
smash.
Oh. Yeah, she wants to smash.
Oh yeah.
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 She wants to smash that Yuki.
to.
Okay.
Sex.
Indeed. Someday you'll have it. Someday. Wait, hold on a second, let me check. Said try again later. Sorry.
Oh.
So yes. Then we have Minane. Minane, whatever.
Minane.
Yes, well, she takes her name from the Roman goddess Minerva. And if you know what those three gods all have in common, well, you might be a little ahead of some of the story points, but we won't say much. But there is one other character we should... Fair enough.
He's the opportunity. Wait, you gotta change the big
Oh.
Yep, you gotta spin it, remember.
And for those of you mythology buffs, Athena was born of Jupiter's head.
Mm-hmm.
This is why he suffers. Or not.
Untouchable! Yeah. So, there is one other diary holder we should mention. John Bacchus.
Mm.
Want to guess who he's based off of? Bacchus! Or the Greek equivalent, Dionysus, the god of wine and theater. He's also apparently the only Westerner in the entire series. It's implied that he could be, like, from the West.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the only, basically, non-Japanese name in the entire series. So, kind of debatable, I guess, in a way.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing well for him. He's mayor of a Japanese city.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I didn't think you could do, but
I
I don't know Japanese politics. So.
Neither do I. Do you know Japanese politics? Talk to us about it.
Actually, don't. Because you're never
we
supposed
don't.
to.
Yeah. Scratch that.
Yeah.
Forget it. All right. So with that, final thoughts.
Again, I loved the rich depth of the characters.
Mhm.
I mean, for most of them, you just like, oh, okay, you could really see where they're coming from, how they fit into the story. Just a really beautifully told story. So, thumbs up for me.
I'm just a really huge fan of like core kind of anime, and I love crazy anime girls, and she just fits along just so perfectly.
Fair
Compared
enough.
to all the ones that I've seen, it's actually a really beautiful story towards the end. It really is. It's good. I like it. I recommend lots of people to read it, watch it, both, whatever you want to do.
That's right. Check out the manga if you can find it. It was licensed by Tokyo Pop. Unfortunately, they went under, so I don't know who owns the rights to it now. The anime series itself is available on Blu-ray, DVD, and it comes packaged with an OVA that wraps up the entire series. I would highly recommend it. This is actually, in terms of like suspense thriller animes, which this kind of falls under, I'd say it's right up there with Death Note.
Oh, yeah.
I love them both. This one I really enjoy immensely. Highly recommend it. Check it out. And without further ado, I am Stu.
Teddy D.
Cynthia.
And we are Animation Triad. Awkward finger guns. So awkward. See you next time. Fair enough. She's too dignified, and she prefers knives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of knives,
Bye!